Hello everyone and welcome to the headliner section of tribute-magazine.co.uk. Today we are blessed indeed to be with a very wonderful cast of The Sound of Springsteen. Say hello guys.
Hi.
And we're going to be talking about the wonderful tour that's coming up very, very soon. So Gareth, The Sound of Springsteen, tell us how it all began.
It began one late night coming back from an event way down south when I proposed the predominant thought of The Sound of Springsteen on Mr. Dale Wilson here at 4 o'clock in the morning, thinking that we need to put a tribute together. And it kind of morphed into what we have now within a couple of hours of driving back.
Wonderful. So the script, did you write it alone? Did you write it collectively? Was it just you and Dale, or?
The script kind of come from everywhere, didn't it?
Yeah, there was bits of stuff from Bruce, of his hits and music, and Gareth and I kind of wrote that, and the guys edited it because we're not very good with English. Sam is.
Sam's our script writer.
Yeah.
Sam's the script writer. So was Sam involved in the project from day one, or did
Yes, yeah. Sam was many moons ago. We crossed paths in a tribute, not down to any name really.
Yeah, well, no, I think, Gareth did sort of bring up the idea of a Springsteen tribute show a good few years ago, and then it all went quiet, so I assumed, it was an idea that was shelved.
Yeah.
Obviously not, he was squirreling away in the background trying to get
squirreling away, doing his work.
Yeah. But no, because I'm a Bruce fan as well, so I've got quite a bit of knowledge about the songs and what they're about and how they became to be. So we used a lot of that in the script as well.
Great. So your voice is very, very of Bruce Springsteen. So is that a kind of natural? Do you sing like that if you were singing, for instance, any other song? Is that your voice?
Yeah, no, it is. It's not it's not an affectation.
Right.
It's just years of poor singing technique.
Well, it definitely works. Definitely works. So 150 million album sales plus 20 Grammy Awards, 2 Golden Globes, an Academy Award, a Tony Award, and a career spanning over 50 years. How on earth do you get it into such a small amount of time?
We don't. We don't. We've had to really pick and choose sort of what stays in the set. Obviously, Bruce is renowned for his 4-hour shows, and when you start looking at the catalogue of songs, you realise why his shows are 3 or 4 hours long. Some really hard decisions are made on what stays in and what doesn't, and we do try and sort of every now and then just change it up and bring a batch of new songs in, because no matter what you've got in, there's always going to be some big numbers missing. There's just not enough time in a theatre show to get everything in.
So roughly, what is the kind of timings of your show? Is it 2 1 hours, or is it?
Yeah, probably just over 2 1 hours.
No, we're talking about an hour for the first set, and we're normally about an hour and a half for the second
Really?
set.
Yeah, it's
Fantastic.
a long show.
I don't time it, I'm having so much fun.
Yeah. So that people definitely get their value for money by the sound of it.
They do indeed.
And some.
Yes.
What you should do is just charge a bit more on the end and say, we've done a bit over.
Put the jug around.
Oh, put the jug around. What a great idea. So is the show, is it a chronological, or do you skip between decades or eras, or?
It kind of jumps around all over the place, really. I mean, it's a massive catalogue, and it could start predominantly when we start with Bruce, when he started his career. But where do we end? He's not ended. He's still continuing.
How old is Bruce now? Do we know?
He's 72. 72.
I think the problem with committing to a chronological show is that it can be a lot more difficult to get the set to work. Certain songs need to follow each other. You want to start in with big numbers.
Absolutely.
Bruce wouldn't do that himself. Bruce always picks and chooses what he does based on the dynamics that he wants to put across.
So he has no set list as such to go out with?
Well, I think it's loose.
He goes out with a sort of structure, but he's quite frequently known just to call something out to the band.
Right.
He's still current as well. His new album's fantastic. Great songs still coming through.
Such a songwriter. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. So he probably says to the band, "We better do Born to Run, but anything else, just watch me."
Yes.
Something like that. So he's known for his 4-hour epic shows. Sam, did that energy come naturally to you, or do you have to keep fit vocally and physically? And on gig days, do you have any kind of preparation, fitness-wise or vocally or anything?
No, I just get knackered.
Is that drunk now?
It can be tough vocally if you've got maybe sort of 5 on the bounce. It can be quite tough vocally. Sort of energy-wise, because the way the show is, the breakups in the script allow you to sort of frame the scene for the next song as well. So it has that sort of up and down pace to it. So, you know, it is at the end of the day a theatre show. We're not trying to be Bruce and the E-Street Band. You know, so it's got a slightly different pace to it like that. But, you know, when we come out, we do sort of open with 3 tracks back to back, you know, so it's sort of hit it hard, and then it's like 15 minutes of, you know, of just solid performing as he does.
Solid rock.
And that, at the end of those first 3 songs, it's, get your breath.
Time to drink the water.
Just must be so, you know, if you watch Bruce himself, I mean, he's absolutely sweating like, oh.
He's an ultimate showman.
He is, isn't it?
And I think it's very important that we don't try and copy what he does, because you just can't.
No.
And I think you look silly if you tried. It's about trying to get the music across there.
Absolutely. And there's fans all over the world. So just going, I'm totally off script now. So we talk about, have you taken the show elsewhere? Is it only the UK, or have you been abroad with it yet, or is there plans to go abroad with it?
We've only been in the UK at the moment, but
Okay.
there's definite plans to
Definite plans. Watch this space, people.
watch this space.
Fantastic. So Gareth, this gentleman here, you're also a member of the very wonderful The Illegal Eagles. How on earth do you manage the time between producing this and being in The Illegal Eagles?
He doesn't sleep.
That's the epitome of it. Yeah, I don't sleep. I just keep going and going and going.
Wonderful. But do you get to see do you go in and see the show when you can, or?
When I'm not on the road with the Illegal Eagles, I'm at the Sam Springsteen show.
Wonderful. Hell hard.
Yeah, without fail.
Quite often he comes to our show and sets up, and then gets in his van and drives to the player show.
Really?
And then comes back and makes it on the show.
And he does have on-stage video cameras to make sure we're all behaving.
One is performing.
He's those Google glasses.
The Google glasses. I don't know if they ever hit on, but there you go. Okay, so I've got a question for Glenn. Glenn, a wonderful saxophonist who I know before this anyway. Recreating the role of the infamous Clarence Clements must be a dream for any sax player. Was he an influence to you before starting the show, or did your appreciation grow as you kind of went on?
To be honest, I mean, I've liked the early Bruce stuff for a long time, probably since I was in my early 20s. And I always liked what Clarence did, but I never really played in that style. So it was a bit of a learning process, really. I've never really played a lot of that harsh sort of rock and roll stuff. I've always played a lot more sort of soul and jazz stuff with a different tone. But I suppose because I'd listened to quite a lot of it, it came fairly quickly. Yeah,
Right.
You just listen and you don't realise that you're learning, I suppose, sometimes, and then you go to play it and it just comes out. Well, I hope so anyway.
From the non-sax player, the growl.
Yeah.
The growl that kind of comes out. Is that thing come naturally to you, or is it something you try to avoid in other genres?
Well, yeah, it can be a bit of a cliche in some ways, you know, because it's it just smacks of the Benny Hill Finch and things like that. So
There's nothing wrong with the Benny Hill Finch in my life.
so it's something that I've never really used a great deal. So and it took a little while to get to grips with. Yeah, it's an odd thing because you're blowing air down the instrument and humming at the same time.
Oh, is that
So,
how it-
yeah, you're kind of using your vocal cords at the same time. So if you try doing that into your hand, it's really odd. It's and it took a little while, and then suddenly it just clicks. Oh, it's actually really easy, but
Right.
because it's not something that you ever do naturally,
Yeah.
it took a little bit of getting to grips with. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, guys, would you say, it's a collective question this, would you say that the show resembles a typical Springsteen show, or is it more story-based with video content, etc., etc.? Anyone can answer that. Whoever fancies it.
I think what we try and do is, what we've tried to do is absorb the spirit of the band. So when we're playing, we try and present the songs in a way that if Bruce just happened to be in the audience, you go, fair play, that's
Yeah.
not try and do it in a slavish manner.
Right.
And I think the whole key element is that we're trying to do justice to the music rather than put on a Bruce show. And as Sam said earlier, that's probably a dangerous project to try and mimic such a unique character,
Absolutely.
but the music it stands on its own. So
Yeah, of course it does.
that's what we try and
Yeah.
that's the direction we try and take.
So for fans, it's a celebration of Bruce.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Which is great. Now, I'm sure you're all extremely excited and can't wait to get back on tour after so many months off. When does the tour start? And do you think the first song, especially the first song of the show, do you think that will be quite emotional for all of you?
I think it will be a hit from not playing a show for the last 14 months. The first song is going to have to be. What do you think?
Well, I think the first show back as well is a festival set, so it won't even be a normal set.
No.
We've kind of got free rein to sort of pick, 10 of the greatest hits and just go and play them in a festival slot.
Yeah.
So it's going to be kind of a bit of a dream come true to go out just with a 10-song blast.
Tell us about that festival.
That's Icons Festival in Waterloo-on-Thames on the 26th of June, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's going to be messy.
It's
It's going to be messy no matter what.
I'm sure
It's going to be
wonderful.
the first gig. There's going to be a lot of excitement, and we're just going to have a blast, I think.
It's going to be stunning. Can you imagine the atmosphere of just people wanting to
People being
get
together.
out there and listen and see music? It's all right watching it on YouTube or on the telly, but you need to feel a band, you need to see it, you need to be stood in the audience, you need to absorb it. I think it's going to be spectacular.
Yeah, absolutely. I do as well. Funny enough, I've done with another show. I've done an interview with them yesterday, and when I actually said sort of about the first song, what's the first song, and the lead singer kind of whirled up and he went, I hadn't actually thought of that. It's a ballad. Well, it could get ugly. So where can people buy the tickets for the tour? When did it start?
It starts the 26th of June.
Yeah.
They can go to the website of SO Springsteen, Springsteen, obviously, and basically just follow the link.
So that's it from us. Thank you so much. The massive thank you to these guys. We so look forward to their tour, which is coming on June the 26th. It starts then, and you can see them all around the country. Please check the website out. Please go and support the show. It's absolutely wonderful. I've only heard a couple of bits and pieces, but you will absolutely love it. So please subscribe to this channel, and also if you can check out our main content, which is on tributemagazine.co.uk. Thanks a lot. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Don't forget, if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button for all the latest videos, competitions, tour dates and much, much more.